You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Fast Tech Solutions. We support our mission by providing innovative technology solutions for your computer networks. We provide computer network support and IT consultations. In the ever-changing technological industry, we focus our initiatives on supplying our clients' needs.
Hi, my name is Dennis Soriano, and I'm the CEO of Fast Tech Solutions. Fast Tech Solutions, we don't wait for our customers to call us, we call them.
We call you before you call us. Fast Tech Solutions. New challenges and improve your business processes to serve you.
Hello, my name is Lisa.
And I'm Miriam.
We are sisters naturally and in spirit, and we welcome you today to Spiritual Life Matters.
Yes.
Good. Yes, we are specifically talking about the premise, the scriptural basis for Spiritual Life Matters.
Yes, in the book of John, the 6th chapter and the 63rd verse, it says, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life."
Amen. Amen. Spirit and life.
Explain that. That spirit part and how the flesh profiteth nothing.
That's the part you want to get to.
Right.
She's
right.
excited.
This is for no reason.
Because the flesh will have no profit in this discussion today. It's all about spiritual life. Well, you know, in Genesis, in the beginning, when God was creating the world, and in the words of my husband, Pastor Rodney Hampton, he always says that God, when he created the sun and the moon, he created all of the beasts of the field, the fowls of the air,
Yes.
the fish in the sea, the grass, the greenery, the flowers, the trees. But we were God's ultimate creation.
Ultimate creation.
And when he created us, he spoke into himself. And he made us out of the dust of the ground. But that was just our frame.
Yes.
The dust is our frame, a dusty frame. But what happened is that God breathed life into us.
My God, that right there will make you shout.
Yeah, he breathed life into us. And so what began is not just our breathing, but our very existence.
Yes.
When we took our first breath, it was the breath of God.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And so in the creation, we started off as spiritual life creatures. We had a state that was so intimate with God. We existed without boundaries. We existed with God without anything else but a perfect, intimate, harmonious relationship with God.
Exemption in direction. Everything was no boundaries.
No boundaries.
Can you imagine that no boundaries? I think there I am on a mountain.
There I am. There
I am down there at the river.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes. And what happened in Genesis, and you can read the story about the fall in the garden, talks about the tree that God specifically told Adam and Eve not to eat of. That was in the midst of the garden.
Yes.
The tree of good and evil, tree of knowledge of the good and evil.
Yes.
And we see the story evolving as Satan, in the form of a serpent, That was walking, which is interesting. We'll get to that. But beguiled and subtly got the woman to believe that the fruit was good to eat. And this was the thing. God never said the fruit wasn't good to eat.
Right.
He never said the fruit wasn't good to
He
eat.
didn't say the fruit was bad at all.
He just said, listen, don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Just don't do it.
Don't eat it. And not only did they eat together, it wasn't just the woman and then somewhere down the line, but no, they ate together. And what happened was the spiritual life that we enjoyed with God, we lost.
It was a disconnection.
We died.
Yes.
We died.
Because it goes on further and he says, where are thou?
Yes.
That means a part of him was gone. Adam was gone from him.
Yes. Something happened into the relationship, which was disobedience. And that's so important because anytime there's a disruption in your spiritual relationship with God, it usually comes in the form of disobedience.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker with God. Disobedience is a deal breaker with God. But what happened is that once we sinned and we were disobedient, we lost, we died. And what we now existed on back then was now our natural selves, the fleshly man.
And you know, the other interesting thing is they covered themselves in fig leaves. In their minds, covering themselves in fig leaves was enough.
Right. Because there was a awakening and a awareness, a knowledge there that they were flesh, and in your flesh they were embarrassed.
Yes, but carnally their sight saw fig leaves to cover them. But here comes Jesus, and he covers them with what?
Yes. He took the lamb, the skin of animals.
Yes.
Which for you all, which it doesn't spell out, but really the first sacrifice.
The first sacrifice.
He sacrificed the animal and he covered them. But he just didn't cover them, but he put them out of the garden. And the reason that he put them out of the garden was because he was afraid they were going to eat of the tree of life.
Oh my goodness.
Because eating of the tree of life after that state would mean that we would stay in that state forever.
Oh my goodness.
And God drove them out of the garden. But when he drove them out, he didn't disconnect himself from us.
Yes.
He was thinking about salvation all the way down the line. And Jesus says in the New Testament, he says, listen, I come that you might have life. Which says to me, what did I have before then?
What were you then?
The life that I thought was not the life that he had for me. How I was living was not his idea of living at all.
And you know what? That goes with today. You know, if you don't know Jesus and you're just out there going to work day to day and, you know, maybe visiting a church and you know, coming home with the family, and then you get a taste of Jesus.
Yes.
My God. And you thought you were living then?
Absolutely. You thought
my
you had life.
Right.
You were just existing. There's a popular show on TV it's called The Walking Dead. But the thing about the show is that The Walking Dead, that they're very limited in their life, that the only things that they want are to eat.
Yes.
So we are limited without spiritual life to having the things we want. There's no satisfaction to it.
And now that's what I was going to say. They are never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
Just keep eating and eating and indulging. I've never seen a fat one.
Yeah. That would be special. But what happens is that when Jesus says, I come that you might have life, the life that I want to give you that you had back in the beginning with your father.
Yes, because Eve said to Adam, the serpent said that we won't die. She didn't even understand.
And Jesus told them, if you eat of this tree, the fruit of this tree, you will surely die.
And can you imagine right now being having a spiritual death? Horrible.
It's horrible, and then to be driven out of a place that was paradise. and to now have to live a life in the flesh, that is hard. A life now where there is no satisfaction. All the work that you do, the Bible talks about it being vanity.
Serving naught.
Serving nothing but your own selves. I don't know about you, but I feel the hunger and the thirst of having a life that's different from the one that I thought I wanted to create for myself.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I would exchange it any day for the life that Christ has died to give me. Spiritual life does matter.
You know, you thought you had life out there in the clubs. Oh, I had a good time. But did you really? You know, I mean, that satisfaction is only going to last but for so long.
Right. Nothing that you do in the flesh, in this carnal life, will give you the satisfaction that spiritual life will. And it's an endless well. That's what it is. It's an endless well. It's an endless source. And there's so much of it that you can never outlive your source. You never
my
outlive
goodness.
the source of life.
Abundant.
Abundantly. And so today I want to emphasize that life matters, but only to a mere existence. Spiritual life matters more.
Spiritual life matters more.
See you next time.
You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.